Hello, this is Tomorrow1111 and I'm going to be doing a deck profile for my gem knights that I'm going to be running this weekend. It's just going to be locals, that's why I'm testing them out there, seeing how they run. So, first of all, I'm playing the Gem Knight Garnet. Then I am running the Gem Knight Tourmaline. These are all the vanillas that I'm going to be running, because Sapphire... Personally, I don't like the fusions that come from Sapphire. That's why I've decided to run Tourmaline over Sapphire, even though Tourmaline has the worst attack and defense out of the two, but because of the fusions it brings better targets. Next are two rescue rabbits. These are obvious what these are going to do. I'm going to bring out the vanillas from the deck so I can either exceed with them, and if I've got the fusion in hand I can fuse with them. Next are three gem armadillos. Armadillos, when they're normal summoned, you get to search a Gem Knight monster to your hand, and a majority of the time the Gem Knight monster will be a Gem Knight Obsidian. I'll do the exact wording on this. If this card is sent from your hand to your graveyard, you can target one level 4 or lower normal monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. So if it's sent off as a fusion material, it's sent directly from your hand to the graveyard, and because it's got the wording if, it's a mandatory effect, so it will always work. So, say for example, if you fuse with a Garnet and a Obsidian, and you have no other targets in the graveyard, you would be able to special summon a Gem Knight Ruby, and then special summon the Garnet that you used as the material for the fusion. And then you'd be able to do more from that. Next, I am playing three volcanic shells. Very shiny. These volcanic shells will once per turn, while this card is in your graveyard, you can pay 500 life points to add one volcanic shell from your deck to your hand. So this means this can be used for fusion material for Citrine, and if you use something like Obsidian, all you do is bring the Gem Knight spell back, and then you can fuse into a second Citrine. And then if you've got enough of a hand advantage at that point still, you can fuse into a third one. I'll go over Citrine's effect later on. Next I am playing the tutor guide for the obvious Leviair plays, or if I need to go defensive with Ace and Mines in early game. My third target is a tour bus. So for example, if I have two Garnets in the grave, so one Garnet left in the deck, and I still have a rabbit in hand, and I need to make the rabbit live, send the bus to the grave, bring Garnet back to the deck, and activate the rabbit in the next turn. It's quite obvious. Next card is Grand Soil. As the majority of this deck are Earths, it's quite a good tech, it's got a good effect, it's a good beta, and also later on I have the grave manipulation to get it to 5 quite quickly. Now this is my tech card. I'm actually not going to show you this until after the tournament, when I do the review video of how it all went. I'll reveal it then, and if anyone can guess it before that point in time, in the comments or a private message, I'll get a prize or get a set of prize sent out to you. That's all the monsters for this. Next are the obvious cards, the Gem Knight Fusion. I'll read the last part of this effect. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one Gem Knight monster from your graveyard to add this card back to your hand. This means you can fuse multiple times in a turn, and also because you can make the Levier with the tour guides. You can bring back whatever you banish to fuse off with it again. Next, I am playing Pot of Avarice, because the grave can fill quite quickly. Say for example, if you go a rabbit play and you exceed with it, that means once the exceed goes, there's 3 materials instantly in the grave. And if you're lucky enough to do that twice in the first couple of turns, then you're perfectly set up for the Pot of Avarice, and also perfectly set up for the Grand Screw if you've got it. Next, I'm playing 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. Kind of obvious. Next, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Heavy Storm. That's it for the monsters and spells in this. Next, I am playing Triple Reckless Greed. Now, I will drop one of the... Actually, I'll go through that in a second. I'm playing 2 Solemn Warning. I'm playing 1 Return from a Different Dimension because of the amount that the spell can banish. 2 Dimensional Prison. And 2 Compulsory Evacuation Devices. Now, for this, you should be able to get the basic premise of the deck from what I've said so far and with the effects of it. Basically, it tries to get as many monsters to the field to fuse them off or exceed them off if need be. But that also does mean you need the spell reasonably quickly. So, my plan for searching out the spells, because I haven't got the card yet, is Magical Hats. Magical Hats effect is you select 1 monster on your side of the field during your opponent's battle phase. You set that card, then you select 2 spell cards from your deck, which in this case would be 2 Gem Knight fusions because they're not needed in the deck, they're needed more in the grave. Then you randomise them on the field and your opponent chooses one of them as an attack target, and if it's the monster it goes to the grave, and at the end of the battle phase the 2 spell cards will go to the grave, so they're going to be in the correct place for where you want them for the players mid to late game. Next, I will go through the extra deck that I'm playing. Actually, I've just thought I've left the side over there. I'll pick that up in a second. First, I'm playing 1 Gem Knight Ruby. This is a fusion of 1 Gem Knight and 1 Garnet. It does piercing damage, and you contribute 1 Gem Knight monster on your side of the field, and it gains attack equal to that monster until the end phase. So with the Garnet play that I said earlier on, this will be at 4-4. Yeah, it'll be at 4,400 and it can pierce. So it's a good play. I'm only playing 1 of them because I need the extra deck space for other stuff. I'm playing 1 Gem Knight Topaz. If this destroys a monster, you can inflict damage equal to the attack of the monster, and it can attack twice during the same battle phase. Unfortunately, it's only 1800 attack, which is the downside for it. I personally think I've only summoned it once or twice on testing on Dueling Network and stuff like that, because I've only just been able to put the deck together because of the reprints. Next, I am playing 2 Prismora. For these, you need a Thunder and a Gem Knight. So in this case, it'll be the Toromelians, which are the Thunder targets. Prismora's effect, you can discard a Gem Knight card from your hand to the graveyard to destroy 1 face-up card on the field. Doesn't specify monsters, so if they've got something like Necro Valley or... I was going to say Skill Drain, but you can't do Skill Drain. Royal Decree. Just something that will stick around on the field for a while. You can get rid of it using Prismora. Next are the 3 Citrine. I just thought I am missing something from the extra deck, so I will say that in a second. Citrine, when it attacks, your opponent cannot activate spells or traps or card effects until the end of the damage step. Which means if Citrine attacks, that means they can't drop Battle Fader, they can't drop Gauze, they can't drop anything that would stop the attack until after the damage step, and there's few cards that will do that in the first place. Next, I am going into the Exceeds. I'm playing one Acid Golem of Destruction. I'm tempted to take this out for what I'm going to say in a second. One Leviathan Dragon. I should find the ulti at one point with that. One Leviathan Sea Dragon. One Wind Up Zen Mains. One Maelstrom the Symphonic Shin. This is normally the target that I go into first turn if I open a rabbit, because I prefer this target over Utopia because it protects from the destruction. And it's also, to an extent, Gachi Gachi is the reason why agents seem to do so well, because they can drop a first turn wall that could potentially stay there for quite a bit of the game, on which Maelstrom can do, and it's also got the offensive capabilities of being Book of Moon. Next, I am playing one Utopia. I am playing one Photon Paplo Operative, and I am playing one Gatista. The card that I need to look for after this video is a Big Eye. I think it's number 11 Big Eye. Because you can spam the Citrines so easily and they're level 7, all you do is overlay 2 of them, go into Big Eye, take control of their monster, and say, I've taken loads of different things with it. I've taken Raikou, which would have basically backfired on me. I've taken a BLS and one from that. For me, Big Eye is the MVP for this deck. I just need to go pick up the side because I put it down somewhere. I don't want to stretch the wire. Okay. This is going to be my extra deck for it. I need to order it. Forget it. First of all, Metallion the Time Lord. I'm playing this against things that basically put stuff on the field I don't want to deal with, or I can't deal with normally. So Metallion the Time Lord, it can be normal summoned without a tribute. It can't be destroyed by card effects, but it can be Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgmented. So when it attacks, you take no battle damage, and this card can't be destroyed by battle. And then at the end of the battle phase, all cards on the field return to the hand, and inflicts 300 points of damage to your opponent for each one returned to the hand. Next card is a System Down. Next is 2 Chain Disappearances, 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, the 3rd Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors, 2 DD Crow, 2 Night DD Assailant, and 1 Karakuri Sazank. Now you're probably going to be thinking why I've chose Sazank. It does the same as what Snowman Eater does, apart from it doesn't say destroy, it says send. Also, it's an earth, so it makes Grand Soil more viable, hopefully, because I may need to side out something that's earth in the first place, and I would prefer to keep the balance so Grand Soil's live more easily. So I think that's it for this video, unless I can think of something in the next few seconds whilst I'm closing off. I'm going to be posting another update to see how it went on, whether it be Saturday night, Sunday morning, and I'll let you all know how it goes then. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.